Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're out here with Shadowfax today, and a rooster named Jabba, and a turkey named Blue. And whoever that was Saruman. But we're here to talk about mini horses, specifically about miniature horse show classes and the youth, amateur, and open competitions. And basically, understanding the differences and what you have to do to get started on a very basic level. If you've ever thought about entering a miniature horse show or you've seen one and wondered how well those classes work, well, this might be the video for you. We're only going to cover it in a very basic way because each show is a little bit different, each registration is a little bit different, each continent is different. So if you're showing in North America versus Europe, or AMHA versus AMHR, everything can get quite different. So we're going to dive into the world of miniature horse competitions, breaking down the basic classes of youth, amateur, and open. And don't worry, I'm also going to give you some tips on how to prepare for them. So grab some carrot sticks for your pony and let's get into it. Let's start with the youth classes, where the young champions shine. These classes are for exhibitors who are 18 or younger. The humans, not the horse, okay? The youth and adult classes are based on the age of the human, not the pony. But don't worry, it's not just one big group of kids, because it sounds like it could be. These are usually divided by age based on being under 18, but also 3 different age categories, or 2 different age categories, depending on who's hosting the show. But that way, the younger exhibitors aren't going to go up against the experienced teens, because that's not super fair. If you're all about giving the younger crowd a shot, these classes are the way to go. There was just a blue jay. To participate in the youth classes, exhibitors do need to sign up for a youth card from the registry. Why? Well, it's so they can collect points towards the High Point Awards. It's pretty cool. Not only do they get to compete, but they also get rewarded for all their hard work. Who doesn't love some bragging rights after a show? Even kids are entitled to them. So if you do want to get started and you are under 18, know that you have to register as a youth. Okay? Amateur classes, well, these are for adults mostly. And if you spent some time on your farm training your own horse, but aren't making a profit by showing or training professionally, this is the class for you. Amateur classes are usually based on how much you've won or how much you've trained, depending. It varies based on who's sponsoring the show and where you are. These classes are for adult exhibitors who simply love their horses and enjoy the thrill of competition, but aren't necessarily in it for the money or aren't necessarily in it to be a pro. And don't stress if you're a bit new to the whole thing. Most exhibitors fall into the amateur category, and some of these shows even offer novice classes for beginners who want to enter the show world but have never done it before, or have only 2 or 3 shows under their belt. So if you go to a larger show, they might have a novice class underneath that amateur umbrella so that you don't have to show up against people who've been doing it for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You can show against people who are newer to it like you are. These classes let newcomers compete without feeling like they're up against the pros. So if you're just getting started, you don't have to be intimidated. Just bring your horse, some positive energy, and some snacks, because we all need snacks when we go to these things. But it's okay to compete as a newbie. You're just going to compete in the amateur classes. And sometimes, again, these amateur classes are further broken down depending on the show and how large the show is. So you're definitely in the right place if you want to show and you've never shown before, if you enter the amateur classes. Then you arrive at the open classes. Well, let me tell you, these are the big leagues. Okay? You don't enter the open classes without some experience. Open classes are, as the name suggests, open to everyone. Youth, amateur, professionals. These classes can get incredibly competitive, and that's mostly because you're going to have pros in them too. So if this is your first show, you probably don't want to hit the opens. You want to stick with the amateur till you get some experience under your belt. The bigger shows are definitely going to be dominated Sorry, I have stuff in my eye. But the bigger shows are definitely going to be dominated by the pros. So just know that the open class might not be where you want to compete if you haven't done this before. They will be dominated by people who have done this for years, by the professionals. But here's the fun part, though. At smaller shows, open classes can actually be an opportunity for everyone to show together. So it doesn't mean you shouldn't enter them. It just means you should also enter into the amateur. So if you're an amateur or a youth competitor, don't be afraid of the pros. It can be a really great learning opportunity, but don't only enter the open. If you don't have a lot of experience, you definitely want to enter youth if you're young. And if you are an adult who's not really done this much, you're probably going to want to go with the amateur, just because open can be a little intimidating. At a smaller show, you're probably okay. The larger the show, the more the people. So you probably don't want to get too involved in the open competition at a larger show until you are a little more experienced, because that's what they're for. So once you've chosen your class and you're ready to compete, well, now what? Well, the first thing you need is a registered horse. Okay, so Shadowfax is registered. He's AMHA, not so American Miniature Horse Association, not AMHR. He is AMHA registered. He is a real quality horse, actually, and he's also very tiny. Still meets the height. He's still 28 inches. He's fine. But he's very tiny, very elegant. He just hates traveling, so the show circuit's no longer for him. That's not where he should be. If you don't have a horse yet, check out which registry has the most shows in your local area. So if you're looking to get into miniature horse showing and you haven't acquired your horse, the best thing you can do, knowing you want to get into showing, find out who runs the most shows in your area so you don't have to travel as far at the beginning. You don't want an AMHR registered horse if the only shows in your province or state are AMHA, because you want to be able to enter into the shows in your area. So find out before you get your horse. If you've already got your horse, it's a moot point. You've just got to deal with what you've got. But if you are looking for your horse, you might want to confine yourself to horses that are registered with the registry you're interested in showing in. The AMHA and AMHR registries are pretty common, and a double registered horse will open up more show opportunities. So he's only registered with AMHA. If you want to compete in everything, look for a horse that's dual registered, AMHA and AMHR. That will help out a lot. But don't worry if you don't have a registered horse yet, because if you have a horse that's not registered, you can still compete a little bit. Many local shows will accept unregistered horses in some classes, like maybe the halter, maybe the showmanship, or in-hand trail. If you've got a single registered horse and you want to get him dual registered, you might be able to hardship register him into the other registry. That lets your horse register with a different registry for a fee. Hardship registration is not always open, so you have to check. So I think AMHA right now, as of this taping, their hardship registration is closed, meaning you can't hardship register right now. That was the last time I checked, which was a while ago. So as of this taping, I don't actually know. But the last time I checked, AMHA's hardship registration was closed. It kind of varies, and sometimes they'll open it back up. Sometimes they'll close it. All registries are like that. So find out if it's open or not if you do want to hardship register. It's also a way to register a pony that you might not have the papers for, but is still an excellent quality horse. So look into that if you are looking to do that. This is especially handy if you find that your local shows are under one registry and you want to participate, but you're registered with the other registry. It's usually not too difficult to hardship register your horse that's registered with one registry. There's Shadowfax now. But he's AMHA, so it'd actually be really easy to get him registered with AMHR because he's already registered. A horse that's unregistered at all can be a little bit more difficult to hardship register. But if you have one that's registered in one registry and you need it registered in the other registry to compete in your area, that's usually not as difficult. Okay? Now, when it comes to the actual competition, open classes are the most varied. You'll find everything from halter, where the horse stands still and is judged based on their conformation, to showmanship, where you show off how well you can present your little guy. And then there's in-hand trail, where your horse will be judged on their ability to navigate an obstacle course. That one's fun. I like in-hand trail. Shadowfax isn't the most cooperative, but in-hand trail is a lot of fun. For youth exhibitors, these classes are often a great way to build confidence. Plus, they help instill good habits that will last a lifetime, like how to groom, how to lead a horse, how to stand proud with a horse at your side. The feeling is unbeatable. So if you're a young person looking to get into miniature horse showing, know that it feels great. You're going to be nervous at first, because you always are, but know that it's a lot of fun long term. All right, so I definitely recommend it if that's something you're interested in. For amateurs, it's the same thing, but only now you've got the added bonus of showing off all your hard work and the bond you've built with your horse. If you've trained them yourself, well, nothing really feels better than entering that ring with them and showing the judges what you've got. And don't forget, preparation is key. This includes grooming, training, and yes, making sure your horse is in tip-top shape. That might mean having them on a certain feed so that while they are preparing for the show, they get in really good physical condition. That might mean refreshing their ability to navigate obstacles if you've let that slip. But there is a lot that you have to address. Just make sure you're ready. A clean and well-groomed horse is not only pleasing to the eye, but it shows your commitment and respect for the sport. And a horse that behaves well will just show better, because a horse that is kind of wacky, the judges don't like that. So try to get your horse to behave. I know we're talking about mini horses, and mini horses can be absolute buttheads, but try. And they will have bad days. Know that your horse is going to have a bad day. Okay? It's going to happen. It happens to all of us. A few final tips. You're going to want to know the rules. Every registry has its own set of rules. I am more familiar with AMHA because that's who he's registered with. So you need to make sure you know the rules of the registry you're competing in. Each show might have variations as well, so check the rules of each show. Don't assume it's like the last show. Always check. Be sure to read the rule book ahead of time to make sure there are no big surprises when you get there. You need to know if the rules have changed or if the rules are different at this show for whatever reason. You need to pay attention. You're going to want to make sure you stay calm. Horses can sense nervous energy, so you want to stay calm and confident. You and your horse are a team. You're doing this together. All right? So if you can be calm, it will go a long way to helping your horse stay calm. And remember to have fun. It's easy to get caught up in competition, but remember that showing is about enjoying the process, learning, and spending time with your equine companion. They are your friend and your partner, and you guys are going to have some fun together. If you're not having fun, is it really worth it? Maybe not. That's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Drop a comment below and let us know which class you're most excited about entering, or if you've already had some experience in the show ring. No judgment. We're all in this mini horse loving community together. We'll see you tomorrow.